Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I made this countertop to go on my cabinet. I hope you enjoy. I began with 2 pieces of cherry hardwood for this project. These boards were too wide for my jointer, so I just had to joint what I could. This created a ridge along the side that wasn't able to be jointed. In order to get the cherry completely flat, I'm going to have to use this piece of MDF as a reference surface for my planer. After I secure the cherry to the MDF, I'm going to run it through the planer. Since the planer is referencing off of the MDF, it will perfectly flatten the top of the cherry. Once the top is flattened, I'm able to take the MDF off and flip it over and get rid of the ridge that the jointer created. This creates a perfectly parallel surface on both sides. One more pass on the jointer will get it ready for the table saw. I'm going to set my fence at 2 1/4 inches and rip 3 strips out of each board. I drew arrows on the ends so I could keep track of the orientation of each strip. One more trip through the planer will make each strip perfectly square for glue up. It is important to consider grain direction with a project like this. Each strip has to have grain direction that is in different directions. This will provide stability during humidity and temperature changes. Now it's time to mark out the locations of the biscuits. The biscuits are going to allow me to get perfect alignment for this panel and also will add some strength. I'm using a biscuit joiner to make all the slots for the biscuits. Now it's time to glue up the entire panel. Each slot receives some glue for the biscuits. I also use a roller to get glue on each of the edges to be joined. This process is repeated until all the strips are glued together. I'm going to use pipe clamps to keep all the joints together while the glue dries overnight. Alright, so the panel has sat overnight, so now we're going to take the clamps off and run it through the drum sander to get all these ridges flat. I'm going to use a chisel to get off all the high glue points before the drum sander. I'm using a drum sander to flatten everything out. It's going to get all the glue off as well as reduce the panel to my desired thickness of 1.5 inches. Now that it is at the desired thickness, I'm going to trim it on the table saw to the desired length. Now it's time for a whole bunch of sanding. Alright, so I brought the countertop up to the cabinet just to dry fit it. I'm also going to use this paint can to create a curve along this side, so when you walk in the back door you don't have such a sharp edge to contend with. Now, I'll just cut off the bulk of the material here, and then sand right to the line along this curve. Now that the curve is cut, I can use my router to create a rounded edge on the side. The last part to get done is finishing the countertop. We are going to use a water-based polyurethane for that. My wife is going to finish it for me. She always helps me finish the projects. Alright, so after 4 coats of polyurethane, the cabinet top is finally done. The reason this cabinet is so functional for us, and the reason I made it, is because we needed a place that when you come in the door, you have a place to put your keys and your phones, a place to charge them, and even to store articles like my wife's purse. I'd like to thank you for watching my video, and if you like this project, please like and subscribe to my channel. I have other videos that are woodworking related. Check them out at the end, and thanks for watching.